strike at Karkan. That's the most popular map in Battlefield 2.
I loved Rush in Bad Company 2. I thought it was the perfect game for the Rush mode.
They pushed the engine of Battlefield 2 to the limit, and you don't recognize the game anymore. It's like looking at a modern AAA title.
Welcome back, legends. It is me, Mr. Muppit, with another episode of Battlefield Talks. Today's guest is Shark. He plays a big role in the Battlefield 2 community. Now let's get started. And before we do, I want you to hit that sub button. Shark, nice to meet you. I'll go straight to the questions. Which Battlefield games have you played and which one is your favorite?
Hello, Mr. Muppet. I've played the first Battlefield I played is called Battlefield Play for Free, and it was a PC game that is kind of an evolution of Battlefield 2, and I used to play that for about 4 years until it was shut down in 2014. And then after 1 year I picked up Battlefield 2 because of its resemblance to Play for Free through a community revival project where I was also moderating the forums.
Yeah.
I also co-founded a community in that game during those years.
Okay.
And in this community, I also played Bad Company 2.
So those are all the games from Battlefield you played?
I've also tried Battlefield 3 because it was on the house on Origin a long time ago, so I picked it up. But unfortunately, my computer, I have a laptop which is not very powerful, and that's okay with me. I could not really run those high-end games.
Yeah, I understand. So which one of these is your favorite game?
Bad Company 2 is the one that struck me the most, and I would say it is my favorite. Also because it has more of a resemblance with Play for Free, which is the one that I've played first when I was younger and for a longer time.
A lot of players would agree with you, and there are plenty of players who would say Bad Company 2 is also their favorite game. In Bad Company 2, do you have a favorite class and weapon to play with?
Well, I played it long ago, but I remember that the assault would probably be the one that I liked the most. Sometimes the sniper, but I'm not really such a great sniper with the mouse. But I have fun playing all classes, oftentimes medic as well. I'm not really one that plays only one class the whole game, especially in Battlefield 2. I would say my favorite there is anti-tank, but what I meant to say is that during the battlefield I shift to the class that is needed the most to help the team and get the objective. That would be my priority.
And if I were to ask you what is your favorite mode, and don't just think about Bad Company 2, but think about your other games as well.
Well, that's a good question. The main modes that I've played would be with these games are Conquest and Rush, but in Battlefield 2 there are some modifications which have Capture the Flag, and when I've tried this, I was stunned. It was such a different gameplay for me to coordinate with your squad to get the enemy flag and to at the same time protect your own flag. And so if I can fit this extra mode, I would say Capture the Flag. Otherwise, Rush would be my favorite mode.
I loved Rush in Bad Company 2. I thought it was the perfect game for the Rush mode. I can't remember playing Capture the Flag in Battlefield. How is that different than Conquest mode, since you also have to capture flags?
Well, it was not in the default game. It's part of modifications.
Oh, I see.
This is also a strong point of Battlefield 2 is that it supports mods out of the bat, and that's also why it was very popular. Also because the community could create everything that they wanted. They could create it in their mod with different textures, vehicles, and so nowadays there are several modifications of the game which also implement different modes. There are even racing modes in Battlefield 2.
Wow.
Yeah. How would it differ? Well, it's like a conquest match, but you have one main base each team has one base. In this base there is a flag. Your objective is to go in the enemy flag and the enemy base, take their flag, and bring it back to your own base, to your
Oh,
own
I
flagpole.
see. Yeah.
But if both teams capture the flag at the same time, they cannot score the points. One must kill the other flag bearer. You must kill the
I
the
see.
one who carries the flag,
Yeah.
retrieve it, and then you can score your points. So there are all different tactics and things to consider. It's much more than a conquest game. It's much more strategy going on. So it's much funnier.
Yeah. I remember from different games like Halo also had Capture the Flag, and
Yes.
it's a very fun mode. Yeah, they should definitely bring that back to Battlefield. I mean, that's a really nice mod. And normally I would ask a lot more about your favorite game, but you do play a big role in the online community of Battlefield 2. Can you tell me something about that?
Yes. So in 2016 we have co-founded a community, a BF2 community, with another person, and we started this during a revival project that was focused on reviving Battlefield 2 and playing it online with other people.
Mhm.
And it really boomed. There were thousands of players in its best year.
Yeah.
But then in the end, unfortunately, it shut down. But there were other side projects that we could go to and transfer our online community there. And so we still have this ongoing community with many other communities that are they revolve around this community-made revival of Battlefield 2 online infrastructure with statistics and online accounts and so forth.
Yeah, I understand, yeah. It's always the same with these old games. What made you decide to actively be a part of the community for Battlefield 2? Why Battlefield? What's so great about Battlefield 2?
Well, I was always one that likes to help other people solve their game problems. And
Yeah.
so, since Play for Free was at the time my favorite game, I was very active in their forum to help
Okay.
other players. So, when that game also shut down, some of my friends from the forum kept mentioning this revival project and Battlefield 2, and so I looked at videos of the game and also at the website of this revival, and it really interested me, and I was like, well, okay, I need a new shooter game that I can play
Yeah.
with low requirements, because my computer is not very powerful, and that possibly is free to play. And so I decided to go back to Battlefield 2, because obviously Battlefield 2 dates way back than Play for Free.
Yes. Recently, I've logged into Battlefield for the first time in about, let's say, 10 years. I don't even remember how long. And it took me not even half an hour with downloading and registering to get in game. It was really easy. So I'll put all the links below for everybody who's interested in playing Battlefield. I also noticed that there's a lot of modding going on in Battlefield 2. Are you engaged with the modding community as well?
I am part of some modding discords, and yeah, surprisingly, the modding community for Battlefield 2 is super active. There are plenty of different mods that are still being developed to this day, and some went big, so big that they created a standalone version of Battlefield 2 with their own mod on top of it, and others instead are like 5 or 6 gigabytes of mod with plenty of vehicles, maps, and so forth.
Ah, that's crazy.
To name a few, for example, Project Reality was born as a modification of Battlefield 2, and then it went standalone. And from there, some of the developers of Project Reality created Squad, which is another independent game.
Yeah.
Also, Forgotten Hope 2, for example, is another that stands out. But now, if you are in the regular world of Battlefield 2, there are some mods that take inspiration from Sandstorm, and I've looked at those, at the videos that promote them, and it's insane what these guys can do on such an old engine. They push the engine of Battlefield 2 to the limit, and you don't recognize the game anymore. It's like looking at a modern AAA title. It's insane what the people can do of the community.
I'm pretty curious to see what the mods of Battlefield 2 are. I haven't really looked at it, but that's the thing for the future. This community of Battlefield 2 players, it must be hard getting people together. But do you know how many active Battlefield 2 players there currently are?
Yes, there is in fact a website created by a player and developer that tracks the amount of players that they are, and right now it will show about 500 people daily at the peak of, of the graph.
500 players 15 years later. I mean, that's still a good 5 to 10 servers almost full every day.
I wouldn't say full, because you always have to imagine that the players are distributed and they come and go. It's a gradual thing.
Yeah.
So in the peak time of Europe, yes, maybe there are 4 or 5 full servers. After 15 years, all the players want to play seems to be Strike at Karkin. That's the most popular map in Battlefield 2.
Well, that's not just after
problems,
15 years. That was in the beginning as well. I mean, there were always a lot of 24/7 Strike at Karkin servers I can remember from back in the days. So that hasn't changed probably.
No, and neither has the nade spam, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. I've played it the other day, and well, I was actually surprised at the nade spam, but maybe because I'm used to it as well. So I just took a sharp left and went around, and usually that works. So I got my old dog tricks. So moving on to the upcoming Battlefield. The next Battlefield game will be revealed in June. Were you aware that there's a new release on the way?
I was, because on Facebook, for example, sometimes I see some people posting a video discussing this upcoming Battlefield game, but I wasn't aware that it would be revealed in June.
With such a huge role in the Battlefield 2 community, let's say you have a great computer as of tomorrow, will you be playing the next Battlefield as well?
If it has some resemblance, I guess, with the ones I'm familiar with, I may try it, as well as if there are other friends that I can play it with. I guess that's natural.
Yeah.
I prefer to go into the game with some friends.
Isn't jumping into different Discord and playing with random players also a great way to make new friends?
Yeah, there's also something that could be done as well.
Yeah.
That's how you meet other people in the Battlefield 2 player base as well.
If you could make some major changes to the upcoming Battlefield, what would they be?
It looks very fast-paced. Running is also something that goes fast. Everything is like, for me, it gives me the impression that it's more similar to Call of Duty than how I play Battlefield. So I would like to see a slower pace. Maybe you have to get more tactical, and so to also implement some activities in the game, like the commander, for example, that would give more control over the battlefield. Not less of a run and shoot, but more to think of what you're doing and think what is good for your team, and to go for the objective, not to go to farm kills, to go in the enemy base and kill everybody, or to stack up kills, but to try to get the player to focus on the objective and to playing as a squad.
Yeah, it's really a pity that you don't see that anymore. You can always fantasize about those things. Like last time I was talking about a fantasy class. I created a class, the Defender. His first gadget would be a deployable wall. The LMG could be mounted on top of that wall. Mm-hmm. And the second gadget would be a deployable box. A magnetic box that would catch incoming grenades with its high magnetic field, you know?
That's fancy indeed.
I mean, it's a modern war, so, and after maybe 1 or 2 nades, it's destroyed. If you would have the ability to create your own fantasy class, what would that class look like? And most importantly, which weapon type and which gadgets?
That is a very interesting question.
Take your
But I don't
time. Take
know.
your time.
I don't know in the newer games what kind of class and kits there are.
I mean, it's
Um,
not. That's why I call it a fancy class, because this doesn't exist. This is my own ID.
The only one that I can think of is a gadget that would be able to hide your presence. So either like a fake wall or a fake little hill on the ground or bush that you could hide in there, but that would probably be lame at the same time.
I mean, for a sniper, that would be a very welcome addition.
It would encourage camping, I'm afraid, but if one is fond of sniper, you could maybe like build or create like a small building, like a tent. You could put a tent on the ground and you go in there to snipe people, and you can snipe. And another gadget you could have. Oh yeah, this one I remember. This one, honestly, I take from Play for Free. I've never seen it in any other game that I've played. It would be a mortar strike. You have these goggles, and you can order mortar strike in a specific place of the map, and after a little bit it will run down. It's like a personal artillery round.
Oh wow, yeah, that's pretty cool. That would be more like an assault class instead of a sniper.
Instead of a sniper, actually in Play for Free, this was a sniper ability.
Oh really?
This was
Yeah, I mean, it is a long distance. So
yeah, because exactly.
Yeah.
Because you can scope with your rifle, and you see someone camping, you can send mortar strike on their location with your goggles.
yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, there's always pros and cons to every class, so I think we can keep talking about that. Yeah, I have another question for you, and that is, which maps from Battlefield 2 would you like to see returned in the next Battlefield?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, some of the classics that I like are vehicle maps, and in our community we like Wake Island a lot, as well as Gulf of Oman. I think Oman is a classic in other
Definitely.
franchises. I mean, in other Battlefield titles. But if I could pick a specific one, well, there's one called Operation Clean Sweep, which I think is particular to BF2.
Yes.
And let me think. Oh yeah, there's another one that I like a lot, but it's underrated. Not many other seem to like this map. It's called Fushi Pass.
Oh.
It's China versus USA.
Yes.
And it's like in the middle of a canyon, but the landscape is all green, the sky is blue, you can pilot jets, there are bridges that you can blow up. It's a very big map, but it's not quite as popular as I would like it to be. That one I'd like to see it.
I personally like Songhua Stalemate, and that's also a Chinese map. And somehow these Chinese maps, I don't know, I just really like them. It could also be the intro music that just makes me happy in general, but
Yeah.
it's a beautiful tune. And well, I think these maps, they have a different feel to it than the Middle Eastern maps and the other maps.
There's also plenty of maps in the expansion pack as well, and I dare say that many of the levels of Battlefield 2 are unique. I would say I haven't played the newer titles, so I don't know the levels in the newer titles, but I think each title has its own unique levels that were designed, maps that are designed specifically for that game,
Yeah.
and they don't move on in the newer titles, so you can only play it if you play Battlefield 2 or Bad Company 2. The most iconic ones will continue in the series, but there's probably a good chunk of maps that remain back in the original title.
Yeah, well, there's also a reason why they put a lot of Battlefield 2 maps in Battlefield 3. In the first DLC, I think we got Strike at Karkand, Sharky Peninsula, Gulf of Oman, and I thought one or two more, but I can't remember which ones. I mean, they were just awesome maps, and I think you can place these maps in every game, because I think Battlefield 2 is a game that really had some unique and amazing maps. And you can say a lot of things about Battlefield, but the maps were one of the greatest in all games, I think. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yes, those ones that you mentioned are in fact also in Play for Free, which came after.
Okay.
So they kept those maps.
Yeah.
Yeah, the DLC I think was called Back to Karkan Battlefield 3.
Yes.
I remember because it mentioned Karkan, and so I said, oh, so they also have this map there.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's just an amazing map. Yeah, it is. I want to move on to
50-50.
There are no wrong answers, so just give it a go.
Okay.
Battlefield 6 or Bad Company 3?
Ooh, oh, Bad Company 3. Yeah, I'm a Bad Company 3 guy, definitely.
Okay.
You know what? Because of the humor. I would like to see the humor, because that title had so many gags. Oh, I loved it. Just for that. And its simplicity. It was, in the beginning I said, the perfect mix between arcade and realism. I would definitely go in there. Bad Company 3.
Yeah, a lot of people were hoping for Bad Company 3, but I think we can safely say that it's gonna be Battlefield 6. I mean, the name isn't confirmed yet, but we're not gonna get a Bad Company 3, unfortunately. Yeah, maybe in a couple of years. Okay, next one. A kill or an objective?
Well, objective. For me, the objective always comes first and the kills second. Yeah.
Okay.
This is especially valid in Battlefield 2. You win by tickets. Yes, they go down with kills, but if you capture enough control points of the enemy, the tickets would bleed down faster. So the objective has always been my main focus.
Okay. Conquest or Rush?
I haven't been getting a lot of Rush lately, so I would say Rush.
Okay. Well, this one doesn't really apply to Battlefield 2, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Takedown or a headshot?
I would go with the takedown, actually.
Okay.
I would go with a takedown.
Okay, a remake of Battlefield 2 or Bad Company 2?
You're teasing me with this one. Oh, remake of Battlefield 2 or Bad Company 3? Is that what you asked?
No. A remake of Battlefield 2 or a remake of Bad Company 2?
Well, this is different. No, then I would say remake of Battlefield 2. Because Bad Company 2 is already perfect, I would say. And actually, those two titles, I think if you look up most of the polls by people of their favorites, Battlefield, I don't remember if it was Battlefield 3, but Bad Company and Battlefield 2, they are in the top spots.
What do you mean top spots?
If you look up polls, votes from people about question, what is your favorite Battlefield in the series? The top spots will be Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 2.
Yeah, for me, it kind of differs from day to day, but I did this crazy video about the history of Battlefield, and I think I decided there that Battlefield 2 was my favorite, so I'm sticking to it for now.
Oh, I know. That's the video where I first saw your channel. That's the video made me discover your channel.
Yeah, that's true. That's the first time we spoke. That was in the comments section, and I really appreciated your comments. I remember you also asking me to join Battlefield 2. Yeah, it's taken me a while, but hey, I'm there.
Yeah, we will I believe we will definitely meet on the Battlefield 2 sometime in the future.
Yeah, well, I'm sure of that, yeah. So in the first episode, I asked my guest a pretty difficult one, and I decided to keep that one in the second episode as well. So I'm gonna ask you the same question, maps or gunplay?
Yeah, so I remember the first guest voted for gunplay, but I wanted to bring up this other side of the barricade, which is in Battlefield 2, the gunplay is completely broken, more or less. It's kind of random, and yet the players are still there. They still love this game. So, in my opinion, it's not the gunplay what is most important. Definitely something that you would enjoy. I enjoyed gunning more in Bad Company too, where you aim is where your bullets are going to go. But in that question, I would go for maps. I would put more focus on the level design and doing a good map and good unique maps.
The gunplay in Battlefield 2 is pretty random, and that's actually what is kind of fun as well, because in most games nowadays the gunplay is so precise that it doesn't feel human anymore. I mean,
it evens out the field, so you will have to have some skill to get the shots instead of just aiming and okay, the bullet will go there, hit or miss. In Battlefield 2, most of the times it's miss unless you fire in a certain way or position yourself. It takes time, it takes skill to take down the enemy rather than spraying your gun at him. That will not work in Battlefield 2. You need to do more than that.
Yeah, that's true. So, thank you very much, Shark.
Thank you to you for giving me this opportunity to talk about my favorite games.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like. If you are interested in playing Battlefield 2, jump in the battle now. Shark made a very easy guide. Check out the links below. And while you're at it, check out his channel as well. Next time I will interview a famous YouTuber. And if you watched Battlefield on YouTube before, you will know who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna spoil who it is, you're just gonna have to wait and see. Thanks again, legends. See you when I see you.